And welcome back to Talk of Alabama. This Friday morning, we're in the Mazer kitchen with Trace Barnett, who's the author of Tracing Roots, and also he's a special guest at the Birmingham Home Show this weekend. In fact, tomorrow, Saturday at 1 o'clock, you can go out and meet him. Good morning to you.
And good morning to you. It's so good to be here.
You know, I love your displays because they're always delicious and you teach us something along the way.
Well, thank you, thank you. You know, most of the stuff I pull right out of my own kitchen, like my little sugar canister over there. You're like, is that your actual sugar canister? Why, yes, it is.
I thought it was just a prop over here, and it really is. His
really
one
is.
just from home.
It is, yeah. The little copper canister.
Now, today, Trace, we are doing Cornish hens.
We are. So this is actually one of my favorite recipes in the book. So I grew up with my grandmother making chocolate gravy. Have you ever had chocolate gravy before?
Never.
So it's like a quintessential kind of Southern thing with a little Appalachian flair to it.
What?
Yeah, it's so delicious. And we spice it up a little bit. We'll get to that in a second.
Okay.
But when I grew up, she would make it for guests when they came in, make it for us as kids. And I mean, who doesn't love chocolate for breakfast? So
it really has chocolate in it?
it does, yeah. We'll dive on into this if you want, and then
Okay.
we'll talk about pairing
Let's
it with
go.
the hens, which are spiced as well.
Okay.
So in a medium skillet, you want to combine a cup of sugar, 2 tablespoons of cocoa powder, and I always use Hershey's. It's one of my absolute favorites.
Mine too.
And then I add in 2 tablespoons of just all-purpose flour.
Okay.
To that, we're going to add a little bit of smoked paprika, and then
Okay.
we're going to add a little bit of cayenne, and I've mixed a little chili powder in there with our smoked paprika just to kind of give it a little kick, and that
Okay.
kind of makes it a little bit more like a mole sauce,
Okay.
which pairs perfectly with savory components. So directly into your skillet, you want to just whisk this together,
Okay.
and whisk it in your skillet until it's just really combined. And be sure and use a heavy bottomed pan when you're doing this.
Okay.
And we've got this over a medium heat. To that, we're going to add in 1 cup of heavy cream.
Okay.
And just stir that until it starts coming together.
So I'm trying to imagine this over a Cornish hen.
Over a Cornish hen. So what we do is my grandmother, when I grew up, would make this gravy with sometimes fried pork chops. Sometimes she would make it with fried chicken, biscuits, of course. And it's just it's so good. I love a savory sweet combination, and this is what
Yes.
this is. So our hens, what we do to those is we spice those up really well. And so the spices of the hens, which include like some smoked paprika, some fresh herbs, kind of correlate well with our chocolate gravy here.
So, okay, and you've got the Cornish hens. We should mention you're going to be selling your book this weekend at the show. The book is right here, Tracing Roots, and if you open it up to page 151, spiced Cornish hens with chocolate gravy. So the recipe is right here.
It's one of my favorite photos too. And
Yeah.
of course you can see how beautiful the chocolate gravy kind of combines with that hen. I just love the color combination there too, as well as the sweet, savory and sweet taste there. If you look at our gravy, you can see that it's just came together and it's starting to bubble. And what you want to do is when you're making this chocolate gravy, be sure and stand over it constantly and use a whisk. Because if you don't, it's going to stick, and we do not want our chocolate gravy to stick, that's for sure.
It's going to burn. You're going to be out at 1 o'clock tomorrow, right?
I will. I will be.
What are you going to be doing?
So I am on the main stage, and at 1 o'clock we are going to be talking about doing all these wonderful indoor kitchen gardens. And also they double as a great centerpiece for a party, which I think is a lot of fun. And then as they grow and mature, a lot of them have perennial plants that you can then transfer out to your garden. And you can rotate those indoor plants all throughout the season. So
Okay. I need to take that lesson.
It's going to be a fun one. You'll need to come out. You might could get some tips on how to fill the garden bed that we just built.
Well, I have a centerpiece in my dining room that I cannot keep anything alive. I keep killing and I buy a new one and then I kill that one. I don't know what I'm doing.
Well,
wrong.
come out on Saturday and we'll resolve that problem.
1 o'clock to the BJCC for the show itself. So you let this cook then for how long?
You let this cook, bring it to a boil just where it's bubbling, and you're going to continue to whisk that, and you cook it just until, like around 2 minutes, just until it thickens up and it's almost like a really nice sauce.
Okay.
So meanwhile, while you're doing this, we'll talk about our hens just for a brief moment. So what we do is preheat your oven to 450 degrees, wash and pat those, and what I do is I take 8 tablespoons of melted butter, pour that directly over, and then you want to add your herbs, which I used a combination of thyme and parsley, and then add all your wonderful seasonings like the smoked paprika, a little cayenne, a little cinnamon, a little allspice, just sprinkle that directly on top, and you're going to roast those uncovered for around 4 minutes, 25 minutes or so, and then you're going to reduce the heat, cover those, and allow those to cook an additional 30 minutes.
Okay, only the TV rules at 4 minutes.
4 minutes, yeah. That's all.
Speaking of that, we got to take a break right now, but when we come back, we're going to talk more about the Cornish hens and the chocolate gravy.
Yes.
Okay, go see him tomorrow, 1 o'clock, again at the BJCC. We'll be right back. Stay with us. And welcome back to Talk of Alabama. We're in the Mazer kitchen with Trace Barnett. Now, he recently came out with his new cookbook called Tracing Roots. You can see him this weekend, tomorrow at 1 at the Birmingham Home Show. And now we're ready to plate this up.
We are, yes, and I think that the plating technique here is really important. So if you are having the Cornish hens with the chocolate gravy, it's just as delicious as it is beautiful. And it kind of helps you kind of eat it as well. So it's going to be gorgeous on the plate. So I always love to use a white plate when I do this. I'll do you first. Oh, real quickly. Right before I serve this up, go ahead and pour in a couple tablespoons of butter. Just because we want it to be extra healthy. Yeah. We're really into health.
Yes, I can tell by all the chocolate.
All the chocolate gravy. So what I like to do is, say this is an individual serving, just take a plate like this and just take a little bit of that gravy and just smear it directly on the plate. And one thing I love about Cornish hens is, especially if you're having a dinner party, they're relatively inexpensive and you can buy them, in bulk most of the time. And they are just absolutely beautiful as a little individual serving on someone's plate. And who doesn't want a full little bird on their plate? It's so cute. And so what I like to do is take the Cornish hen and put it directly on top of that. And as you can see, it's so beautiful the way it kind of pairs well with that. And then I like to just take a final sprinkle of some herbs. And of course, you can use dried or fresh herbs, whatever you have on hand. Today we're using dried. And boom, you have a beautiful plated gourmet little Cornish hen with a little chocolate gravy. And of course, you need to make a manchego cheese biscuit to go ahead and serve that with too, so you can, sop up all of that good chocolate gravy.
I was going to say, let me tell you, was first like, oh, I don't know about chocolate and hen. Delicious. I tasted it during commercial break.
It's wonderful, yeah, and it has such a good combination of flavors, especially when you add a little bit of the spice from the cayenne, the smoked paprika, and the chili powder. Okay,
so don't forget to go to the Birmingham Home Show. Here is the recipe book, Tracing Roots. Stop by, see him at 1 o'clock. He'll be on the main stage and all the other amazing vendors there that can help you from everything, really from cooking to entertaining to remodeling a space. They got it all at the Home Show.
They do. It's a good lineup.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is beautiful. It's almost too pretty to eat.
Well, we're about to eat it.
Yeah. We're going to do it anyway. We got to take a quick commercial break, but we'll be right back with more Talk of Alabama. Keep it right here, and happy Friday to you at home.